Dr. Back is proud to bring to you a new way to enjoy, purchase, and collect your books. We all love the convenience to have a book read to us as we are driving, biking, or jogging through an audiobook. But then we all want to have a printed copy to display on our shelves to keep track of the books we've read. Dr. Back, through Emotive World Inc., is proud to bring to you the combo format, exclusively available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. People purchasing a paperback copy from Dr. Back's library will receive both the printed book and have access to an audiobook version streaming online. By today, Dr. Back is the only one with this format. Look for the combo paperback audiobook stamp. Emotive World will make the combo format available to all the authors who would like to be distributed by Dr. Back Publishing Company in partnership with Emotive World Incorporated. Welcome to the Alphas.
Hi, I'm Dr. Back. Welcome to the Alphas. A year ago, we started a crazy journey. It was COVID, everybody was stuck home, we were benched, and then we started connecting. Within a year, it's amazing the kind of friendship and progress that we've done.
Last year on the Alphas, Dr. Back recorded 2 series of podcast, $1 Million Mindset, 40 episodes, and The AlphaShow, 30 episodes. Within the Alphas, he co-wrote and published 6 books with 2 more to follow soon. Aftermath, April 2020, written with Dr. Eric Lacoste. Relevancy, May 2020, with co-author Dr. Paul Willett and many Alpha guest authors. Midas Touch, June 2020, with co-author Dr. Julio Reynafaja and Dr. Paul Willett. The Power of DR, June-July 2020, in collaboration with the Global Summit Institute founded by Dr. Kiana Shah, with co-author Dr. Pavel Krastev and many guest authors. The Modern Woman, August 2020, with co-author Dr. Emily Letran and guest author Sharon Lecter. Touchstone, November 2020, with co-author Dr. Ken Sirota. All these books are available on Amazon, Apple Books, and at Barnes & Noble.
We wrote the future and the hope of this industry, the dental industry. A year ago, we were strangers. Today, we are partners. Today, we're your anchors. The Alphas has built up the reputation throughout the world to thrive on leadership, on innovation, and it's my privilege to announce to you that we'll be announcing the creation of a federation of funds.
From the Alpha Summits and Talks, we are proud to announce the creation of an investment fund federation, ETAF. The Alpha was also the scene for a huge merge of tens of millions of dollars with the buyout of Coldwell Banker Quebec. This year we are announcing the creation of AMP, Alpha Merger Protocol, to help companies and CEO to bring their company public, not through IPO but through SPACs, Special Purpose Acquisition Company. On this, Dr. Back just accepted to join forces with one of the leading telehealth company in the USA to bring them to market. And guess what? We are just warming up.
Unfortunately, we don't like to read that much anymore. So we create a new format, the combo format. Combo meaning that you have the paperback version, but also you will have access to the audio version of that book. By today, we're the only one in the world having this kind of combo. They are distributed by Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
In the same time, Dr. Back has developed and launched successfully a new platform to enjoy books and stories, UAX, streaming on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, and all major streaming outlets.
Mainly it's a movie without image.
Developed to entertain you and to stimulate your visual cortex throughout the reading of an audiobook.
And we're not done yet.
This has been a great year with the release of 5 albums distributed by all major music outlets.
5 albums out.
Streaming on Apple Music, Spotify, and Amazon Music. In the meantime, Dr. Back scored the new world record of writing 72 books within 36 months, and he did that with 10 days in advance.
And you know what? Barnes & Noble has picked up on a trend. Today, they're publishing our book within days after it reached Amazon. So even this will be accessible to you, because Dr. Back has become a publishing company too.
Yes, we will sharing with you our secrets and our tools, opening up to you the Alpha protocols, a way to write your book within 24 hours of your working time, and publishing them within a month to Amazon, Apple Books, Kindle and Barnes & Noble.
I wrote by hand 1.16 million words, but you won't have to.
The Alpha protocol will be available to everyone by 2022. In 2021, it will be available exclusively to support CEOs and companies founders to help them prepare their road to IPO and mergers.
On this, I am so glad to announce to you that I'll be starting my journey of taking 50 grand in a portfolio and try to bring it to 1 million.
Follow his journey in Cryptoconomy 101. This will be a book, but also a blog and part of the $1 Million Mindset podcasts.
Writing books brought me to meet so many people. And those people are all bringing their part of knowledge on the table.
Oh, and one last thing. Dr. Back is right now at his 88th book. He is running to set the next world record of writing 100 books within 4 years. He will have until the end of August this year to set his new world record. If last year was crazy, this year promised to be even better.
I can't wait to see what you'll be doing with our tools. I can't wait to hear your story, your hope, your dreams. Because if there's one thing we learned throughout this crisis is COVID brought us closer together.
Celebrate with us the first anniversary of the Alphas.
I'm Dr. Back. Welcome to the Alphas.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the office. Today we have a special guest for you. His name is Dr. Hungate. He is an orthodontist, but on top of this, he's an entrepreneur. He is the CEO of Simplify, one of the biggest promising platform out there for dentists. And without further ado, Dr. Hungate, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. Let everybody know what we're doing.
I'm pretty sure that I summarized very shortly your resume. Would you like to just introduce yourself so our audience know exactly who you are and what you do?
Yeah, of course. So as you said, I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Simplify. Prior to that, I'm an orthodontist. So that's what's funny is when I'm talking to a lot of different people out there, I have to say, oh, by the way, I'm an orthodontist. They're like, wait a second, you have a software company and you're an orthodontist. How'd that happen? And that kind of brings me to like the beginning of my career path. And I actually used to work at Apple. So what's really interesting is I worked at Apple during a pretty cool time. I was there from 2007 to 2008. So for all of the Apple historians out there, yes, the iPhone was released while I was at Apple. So I think one of the most interesting pieces is everybody thinks that when you work at Apple, you know everything and you're just keeping secrets. No, they keep secrets within secrets within secrets. We didn't even know that was happening. So I came up through the retail portion of Apple, and I worked directly for a gentleman named Ron Johnson, who was the SVP of Apple Retail at the time. It was awesome working for him. I was really kind of his like right-hand man. He reported directly to a guy named Tim Cook, and then Tim to Steve Jobs at the time. So everybody knows him now, but nobody knew who Tim Cook was back in the day. They just knew Steve. So it was a lot of fun. I was responsible for the entire workflow portion of Apple Retail at the time. And at the time, we didn't have workflow. And I learned something very quickly that if you are not purposeful about your workflow, it makes itself. And it's usually what somebody would call chaos. Which is a really big problem, especially when you're a multi-billion-dollar company. And, you know, it was wild. Our number one complaint was I couldn't find anybody to help me. And you'll start to hear these like analogous patterns between retail and healthcare, and especially dentistry. And I think it's really funny that so much can be applied from these retail locations to our day-to-day lives in healthcare. And so what we did is, you know, I was responsible for this. I came up pre-med, pre-dent in school, and this was my first job out of school. I just kind of like rocketed through their organization because they have a really cool policy of if you have a good idea, you kind of go to the top. And all I knew was triage. And if, our number one complaint was I can't find anybody to help me, yet we had 40 people working there, that means that we were not triaging people as they came in. So we started to triage people at the front door. We used walkie-talkies to strategically route people around, which is a lot of fun. And then on top of that, really executing transactions where they were happening. So we were finding that there was a lot of what we called cart drop. Okay. And people experience this all the time online, but it happens in stores too. You've probably experienced it maybe with your wife, where you spend an hour, maybe trying on clothes, or maybe even with you, right? Where you're spending an hour trying on clothes, you get to the checkout line, there's 3 people in front of you. And then you always watch people start going and looking at things and saying, I don't need any of that stuff, and they leave. Whereas if that store could have just checked you out 30 seconds faster, you would have bought all 3 of those things and you'd be good. And you would be happy with those 3 things. But because you got to second guess yourself, you left. So at Apple, what we did is we made it so the checkout process was no longer a line or a queue. We made it so the sales rep was the checkout process. And what's interesting is this is some of the stuff that we deal with all day long in dental practices too. What do we do when we want to check somebody out?
Other people on the floor, that was your idea?
Yeah. We didn't have that. It was wild. So we had a checkout line. We still had cash registers. We still literally had, in 2007, we had it where you could, those machines where you put the credit card in there and you kind of run it. We still had those because internet wasn't perfect yet. So I was like, wait a second, we have all this technology. We have unbelievable Wi-Fi. And we were using these pocket PCs at the time. But what we would do is we would say, okay, Doc, wait right here. I'm going to run to the back and I'll go get that Mac. And then we would leave. And sometimes you'd walk back out front because you just got them to commit to $2,000 of a purchase. And you'd walk back out there with a computer and they'd be gone. Why? They panicked. So now what we did is with the walkie-talkies, I said, no, you stay there with them. You keep talking with them, right? And the person from the back is going to run the stuff out to you. And then what you're going to do, and what we found even more, is we would say, hey, you know what? While we're waiting on the phone, let me show you the cases, right? Let me show you the chargers. Let me show you this added, and they would have a pile of stuff by the time they were done.
So you
right? But it's genius.
Working part-time at Apple, and you arrived changing the way that they are selling computer.
We literally got to deploy that in about 300 different locations worldwide. So that was kind of like my baptism into doing that. And it was really cool working directly for Ron Johnson. He was previously the CEO of Target. So that's where he got his start. And I should say his start. He obviously got a lot more before that. But if you think about it, Target back in the day, a lot of people don't remember Target. Target was garbage, right? It was like a terrible place. It was dark and dingy. It was known as you can get free popcorn up front. But then otherwise, when you're looking around in Target, what he did is he goes, I want to put like these Vegas lights so it feels so bright, so you're so awake when you walk in. And he deleted half of the aisles so that now when you walk through a Target, you've got so much space, right? You lost half of the shelving, but now when you think of Target, you think of nice. When you think of Walmart, you're like, that's okay. Walmart on Christmas Eve, my nightmare, right? Whereas Target on Christmas Eve, still not good, but at least I'm not running into everybody all over the place. So he was really kind of the person that said, look, there's experience to this, and people equate this experience with value. And a lot of that ended up playing over into the dental world because I started to see all of my friends who I was pre-dent and pre-med with, who were now entering dental school or even getting out of dental school, and they would show me their software. And I remember looking at their software and going, oh my God, you got to update. And they were like, no, man, I just bought this. And I was just thinking okay, if this is the status of software today in healthcare, I could get in here and blow this whole thing up. It's going to be easy, right? Because I just thought, make sexy software, and all of the doctors, of course, will buy it because they'll see how bad this is and they'll buy mine. I was so wrong. When we got in there, I realized after going to dental school, it's not so much the software or the designer's fault. It is, don't get me wrong. But it's the fact that doctors are still lacking that huge amount of business teaching every single day in dental school, or even afterwards in CE courses. I still think it's hilarious that when we go to these conferences, 98% of all of the CE classes are focused on clinical stuff. I don't know about you, but when I left dental school, I knew how I was going to practice. Unless it was something brand new, maybe like implants or a brand new way of studying orthodontics or a new bracket or something. That's new. Yeah, I'll do that. But I'm not going to change the way I do a filling. I want to know the business side, the stuff I didn't get within that universe of dental school. That's what I want to know. And they still, struggle to do that. So if that's the case, there's only one thing that we can do with our software is we have to automate these business processes. And that's when we created Simplify, and that's what we focus on now.
I have a ton of questions, but just in a little time frame, can you explain what is Simplify and how it's going to help dentists?
Yeah. So knowing what we know about doctors, by owning a practice, you're on a bullet train, whether you know it or not, and whether you like it or not. And me walking in tomorrow and saying, like, let's say as a consultant saying, look, you need to change this, and the way you do that, and change all these different things. Consultants are awesome, and we need them out there fighting that good fight. But the scalability of consultants is very small. We want big scale. So what we want to do is I want to automate those things. I want to take a front desk team of, now it's probably even less, right? Because of COVID, where it's like 2 or 4, it used to be maybe 4 people. Now it's 2 or 1. Right? How can a front desk team of 2 people properly manage a patient base of 5,000 people? It's almost impossible to do really well. They do it, but to do it well is a whole different thing. And to really go above and beyond, we have to automate those things. So Simplify looks at all of the different front desk team processes and tries to automate those as much as possible. You'll always need a front desk team for the odds and ends, the weird scheduling stuff, the weird insurance stuff, the I don't have a clue whether I want to come see you or not kind of stuff, where I'm asking all kinds of clinical questions, payment processes, that kind of stuff, front desk team members are great for. But why is it that I still have to call into a practice to make an appointment? That's insane if you think about it. I can make a flight reservation, but I can't do a doctor's appointment. Like, the world has moved on into these automated automated expectations, but yet retail healthcare, and especially dentistry, has not. So Simplify looks at that, and we want to automate the entire front desk process from start to finish. Okay, so we do that in a few different ways. First, we want to automate brand new patients for you. We want to make it so they can chat 24/7 with our live chat team. We speak multiple different languages, so if you are French first, we can do that. That's absolutely fine. We can take care of that.
So amazing. And you know that one of the hassle of today is to find staff that we will be working, because it's hard to find staff by today's standard. So let's Simplify. Is it any way for us to run an office without people, except for the dentist?
You can. Yeah, you absolutely can. It's interesting. I tell a lot of people, like I said, I always think that you need front office staff to offer the one-offs. But could you do almost as much as 5 people with 1 person? Absolutely, you could. Right? You absolutely and utterly can. And then here's what's even better. Maybe you pay that 1 person more money. Maybe you pay those 2 people more money. They're happier because they're getting paid a good amount. But at the same time, your retention goes up. Because I think a lot of the times we think about how we incentivize these front desk team members. But it's only from the outside looking that I've realized this. Like, let's take a front desk team member. If I see 20 patients in a day, or I see 300 patients in a day, does the front desk team member get paid any more money? No. And in fact, they have to do twice the amount of work to see all those other patients. So if anything, am I incentivized to see less patients or more patients? I'm incentivized to see less. That's the crazy thing about it. So the only way to make that life better and still pay a similar base, or maybe even bring that base pay level up, is by automating a lot of their jobs.
With the AMP Alpha merger protocols, Dr. Back and Alpha experts will be advising and helping companies and startups to join the big leagues, aka the stock market. It is the dream of most entrepreneurs to see their company traded in the stock market and to have access to the necessary resources to grow their company and vision. Through SPAC, special purchase acquisition companies, which have the favor of Wall Street and of the investment community, Dr. Back and experts at the Alphas will be prepping companies to successfully merge with a SPAC. In other words, to be traded on Wall Street. The mandates are on a one-on-one basis. More and more experts and alphas of the financial world are joining in for this particular purpose. If you have a company and are looking for the ultimate evolution, if you are a startup in the era of digitalization and are looking at huge market and still looking for capital, reach out. You are the next big thing. We are helping you to acquire the funds to make it so. Hundreds of billions of dollars are waiting to be invested as we speak. Welcome to the Alphas.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands.
After accumulating world records writing books and developing strategic partnership with Apple Books, Apple Music, Amazon, Kindle and Amazon Music, Barnes & Noble, and Spotify, Dr. Back is proud to share his tools and connections with all of you.
Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
For those looking to write a book and to be distributed by the giants of the books and music industries, Dr. Back is bringing to you the Alpha Protocols. The Alpha Protocols are a series of protocols allowing entrepreneurs, visionaries and leaders to narrate their thoughts into books, audiobooks combo, UAX and more. If Dr. Back wrote more than 1.2 million words by himself, you won't have to, thanks to the Apollo Protocol. You don't even have to be a writer. With the Apollo Protocol, we are bringing you from an interview and 24 hours of your working time to a book distributed by Amazon and Apple Books within 30 days.
When it rains, it pours. Water's up to my chin.
From there you will have access to elevate your book to the other protocols available. The Echo Protocol will empower each author distributed by Dr. Back Publishing Company to have an audio version produced and to be available on combo paperback, audiobook format, distributed exclusively by Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The UAX protocol is the ultimate upgrade of your book, elevating your book to blockbuster status, streaming with the artists on Apple Music, Spotify and Amazon Music. This is your bridge to the pop culture and to make your content contemporary. The Alpha Protocols are available through the services offered by Emotive World Inc. Welcome to the Alphas.
Hey, I'm Dr. Back. Welcome to the MX Mansion. If you give me just a minute to introduce myself, I'll tell you that I am a first-class lazy guy. With everything that you heard of me, everything you saw from me, I did all of that because I'm lazy. Being lazy doesn't mean that you don't have to do shit. It doesn't mean that you don't have to go through shit to get things done. So for as long as you are focused on the result, be as lazy as you want. Is that progress? If you ask me, if you are minded on the result, that's progress. Today I'm proud to say I'm lazy. I'm Dr. Back. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I'm lazy.
What's interesting, a lot of people will look at this and go, oh, wait a second, are you going to put a bunch of front desk team members out of jobs? No. If anything, I'm going to make those front desk team members hopefully get paid more because their specialty will be awesome. And you, instead of having to employ 20 front desk team members, could do 2. And it's a lot more lucrative.
I have to say that you are very convincing. So let's go through that process. And the audience will be our witness. So you're telling me that you can bring a team of 4 people down to 2. So let's say they're beginning pay about 40 grand a year. So that's 80 grand I'm saving. Actually, I'm not even saving. I just save myself the trouble to find 2 other people to my team. That being said, you have to increase the salary of the people staying in. So let's say that each of them receiving now another 10 grand. So I'm saving about 60 grand. How much Simplify will cost me annually? Is that 60 grand?
No, not even close. That's the thing. If anything, we're making money for you. So that's the best part. On average, if it tells you anything, it just depends on how many locations you have. We're charging between right around $400 per location per month. And the rest of it, and even your payments platform is completely free. Then we offer like multiple location discounts. There's a lot of different things to the pricing, obviously, but at the same time, it doesn't sniff 60 grand is the easiest way to say it. And that's where like, it's interesting.
It's about 5 grand. It's 5 grand a year. To save myself the hassle of having a bigger team to manage, I save myself at least 60 grand minus that 5 grand. So I save 55 grand.
Yeah.
And how come you're not in every single dental office?
We're trying to get there. Like, I think that's the biggest piece. We're ready to scale. We're in about 8,000 different doctors' offices, which is really cool. And, we're growing like crazy. I think it's because of the way that we look at how people do workflows. So there's, a lot of traditional softwares out there that are just doing text, email, reminders, and you have to have those things and reviews, and those are great. But anymore, like, those are commodities. What we're trying to do is the same thing that I'm sure you've heard of Shopify. Shopify is doing this for all of those retail locations out there. Everybody used to think that Amazon was going to eat the world, and they still are, don't get me wrong. They definitely are. But at the same time, something happened in between those times where it just stopped everything, because the special piece of Amazon is their infrastructure. They have this beautiful website where I can click on something and I can check out in one click. They literally have a patent on that. They have a one-click patent checkout. I have all that stuff. How can the mom and pop chocolate shop across the street from me right now even think about competing with that? Then all of a sudden, Shopify comes along and says, hey, that awesome infrastructure where you can have this online store and you can have warehousing and good rates on shipping, all that stuff? I'll give it to you. And all you got to do is process payments through me. If you're wondering why Shopify is kicking butt, that's why, because they have the ability to give you, as a small retail location owner, the exact infrastructure of Amazon overnight. And that's what Simplify is doing. What's interesting is it's completely different. That's why I call it retail healthcare, because that's what dental offices are. We care about new patients, right? Whereas if you look at the family physicians out there, we work with them too, but they're a lot less incentivized. They make $200,000 a year, whether they see 10 patients a day or whether they see 200. So once again, they're to that problem with the incentivization. It doesn't make sense to them. Whereas what we do is we look at it, we can automate that whole process. We could technically give you, as a location owner of 1 to 300 practices, I'll give you a better infrastructure than Heartland has overnight, which is a lot of fun.
To use the catchword of one of our friends, it is painless.
There you go.
Painless.
Absolutely.
But let's go through this, because this is very interesting. You know that most dentists have a lot of hassle to deal with, and we're a surgeon. We're not being trained to do business, and we suck doing business. Unfortunately, this is the truth. That being said, people also hate change.
Yeah, they hate it.
It's very hard for a dentist to accept change just to go through the process. And I'm not telling anyone here, those are just facts. So let's say that I listen to this, or I go to one of your seminars and say, wow, this is great. It's not paperless practice, it's people-less practice.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not being cheap here because it's hard to find people today. So
very hard.
It's not about to save, it's about to just stay relevant and efficient. How does this work? I call your company, what is the risk and what is the learning curve to implement Simplify into my practice?
So one, we make it risk-free, because I know for a fact, I always hated it as a doctor. They'd be like, oh no, it's real easy. Sign up for 2 years, it'll work for you. I'm like, first of all, if you're trying to convince somebody to sign up into a year or a 2-year agreement without proving gigantic amounts of value before they sign up, not cool, right? If anything, it feels kind of like a false positive to me. If you got to lock somebody up without proving value, it means that I'm just trying to prevent you from running, right? Simplify does, it's real easy. We give you a 30-day trial right off the bat. No credit card, nothing. I don't want any payment. I want to be able to prove to you that if I can put direct scheduling and live chat on your website and put invite into your practice to keep patients coming back, that's where we start. If I can put that into your practice right off the bat, I'm going to show you such an insane amount of value that you'll be like, of course I'll sign up. That's the first goal. Then after that, we can talk about whether you want to do an annual and save some money, or you want to do month to month, because most of our customers, we do month to month. That's how we do it. Because I always think like, look, if you're really good at what you do, you only have to do month to month, because I know I'm going to prove value to you every single month. So that's how we start. When it comes to training, we had to get this down, because we started with the 1 to 3 locations. That's still our bread and butter out there. We love helping the 1 to 3 locations because it's so much fun giving them that awesome infrastructure that they've been wanting to compete with for so long. At the same time, we built this for enterprise. One of our largest locations out there, we've got over 300 locations on that platform. We've got some large locations too. We had to build it for enterprise so that they can see their data right away, so they can figure out what's going on with their practices and marketing. To do that, we had to make onboarding simple. Our training literally takes 15 minutes or less for each of our products. Like I said, for Amplify, we have to fit in that current workflow. And the reason we laugh about it, we kid about it, where I go, hey, can you open an email? Congrats, you're trained. It has to be that easy, because you can picture your front desk right now. They do 10,000 things. They're always the catch-all. You get a new hardware device, go learn that. Learn how to do reviews, get that done. Verification of benefits, go do that too. They're always the catch-all. So if I add another step to their already existing workflow, it's not going to work. So what we do is we fit into their existing workflow. Hey, Johnny at the front desk, are you ever checking your email throughout the day? Of course I am, multiple times. Cool. We're going to be in there. If you see it, click it. It'll magically bring up the dashboard. You can call that patient and you can confirm that patient. If you have direct scheduling, guess what, Johnny? You don't even have to think about it, because now they're going to fit into your already existing workflow, where you're going to call and confirm a patient and you're done. So that's what's so much fun about Simplify, is change absolutely nothing. Just get more new patients and maybe make your life as a front desk team member a little bit more easy. That's how we think about it.
Actually, you're underselling this, because the way I'm hearing this is you're providing to your front desk people an assistant. How cool is that? They are the assistant, but they have their own personal assistant too. I'm surprised, because right now we're talking about changing dentist's life completely, because the business portion and the management portion is a big hassle for every one of us.
Everyone.
You're telling me that within 30 days, you can turn that around risk-free? And I'm saving on top. Yes, I'm spending money, but compared to what I've been saving and the new patients coming in, it's how can we help you make sure that we can help other dentists to benefit from this?
Yeah, and I think that you're focusing on the right thing here. It's funny, if you look at like the Heartlands of the world, and there's other people looking at that growth pattern. Right now, a doctor is literally willing to give up between 40 and 50% of their practice to never think about the business aspect ever again. And if you think about what, like, let's take, Heartland or a DSO offers in general. What do they offer? Constant flow of patients, because they'll do marketing for you. Awesome. Full chairs every single time. No more headache at the front desk, because I'll take care of the staffing. Somebody quits, Heartland fills it, or the other DSO fills it. That's awesome, right? Now, what's interesting is if you start to remove the need for those, if you're starting to say, hey, look, the only thing really that Simplify doesn't do is we don't provide you with the marketing top of funnel things, but call me, I'll give you 20 different awesome marketing people out there that can get this done for you. There's some that are way better than others, but there's a ton of them out there that will get this done in your market. If you think that you can't compete with these large DSOs out there that have these hundreds of millions of dollars, guess what? There's enough patients for everybody, and you can. It's actually easier to move yourself to the top of those rankings on Google, where normally a large DSO, they have to pay for those search terms. Right? But if I search, hey, dentist Montreal, I'm going to see you first no matter what, right? That's the best part about this. You can beat them at their own game with a budget of like $2,000 or $3,000. It's not a lot of money, which is pretty darn cool. So the problem is that when you drop that 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 grand, heck, I've seen people drop up to 17 grand for a single location practice. And it's worth it if you have people on the other side converting it. And that's what we're there for. We want to automate that conversion process. We got to make it easy. If you look at your stats as a doctor and you see, oh, look, last month I got 1,200 visits to my website. This is amazing. You should be so upset that you didn't get 1,200 new patients, because those 1,200 patients that hit your website, they didn't get there by accident. They weren't searching for ESPN and then the second result was Hungate Ortho, right? That's not how that works. Oh, this wasn't ESPN. I got to get out of here. No. What they did is they were looking for a dentist. They came to your website. They looked around. They might have even looked at you, right? And they might have looked at your staff and then how your website was designed. And they said, no, I'm good, right? That should sting, right? That should really sting. And because if somebody walked into your waiting room right now, looked around, did a little look around, looked at your front desk, looked at you as a doctor and go, and then left, you would be so upset, right? You'd be so pissed off. But yet we're okay with people leaving our website because we didn't convert them. And we paid a lot of money to get them. So that's the big difference that I know that Simplify can start to change that conversion for people. We can make it easier for them. All they want is ease of use. So that if it's 9:30 at night, I can make a damn appointment at my doctor's office and get back to bed, because that's all I really wanted to do. So I think that, really what we can do here is like just getting the word out to these doctors that they shouldn't be scared of allowing people to direct schedule. Now, even if they're like, look, the only person that can run my schedule is my front desk team. That's okay. If you want to believe that, that's absolutely fine, because our software still works with that. We can get that patient with live chat right to the edge, say, hey, what day do you want to come in on? Wednesday, morning or afternoon? Morning. Okay, great. We confirm all appointments by phone call. They'll call you with a time. We can still lock that patient up to get them into your practice so they don't go somewhere else. It's the same reason that Delta Airlines, when you call them and they say, hey, it's a 45-minute wait, you used to be like, oh, they go, but we'll call you back. You go, hey, you're instantly happy. It's the same thing that it works like that. So you don't have to change your workflow is the biggest thing I can tell people. And it's time to change, because one of the biggest stats that people should be a little bit scared of, actually really scared of, is that all that patient base, that almost every doctor will tell you, my patients love me. They're the best. They're never going anywhere. I don't lose any patients. There's a stat that says that a patient is 30% more likely to change their doctor if another doctor offers direct scheduling.
My name is Jeremy, and I'm going to show you Simplify. To view Simplify, go to simplify.com. On Simplify's homepage, you'll be able to see our different product options. Simplify has a product called Amplify, which is 24/7 live chat. It also has a product called Connect, which is a telehealth platform, as well as a product called Scheduling, which helps your patients book appointments. We also have a new product coming out called Payments. You'll be able to see some of our stats, as well as our trusted partners and testimonials. If you're interested, you can fill out the form down here below for more information. The Simplify website is HIPAA compliant. To look at some of our products a little bit more closely, you can visit the Amplify page. It will talk to you about being available 24/7, accessible to everybody, customizing an approach for your practice, keeping it in the cloud, growing your practice, and responding quickly. Amplify responds in 7 seconds or less and can answer questions for patients because real humans are answering questions based off of the survey that your practice fills out. Our scheduling platform, there are multiple ways to schedule. A patient can schedule by themselves or with our expert Smile specialists. We're even integrated to some electronic health record systems if you would like to set up that service. Our Connect product allows you to meet with patients face-to-face on a HIPAA-compliant telehealth platform. You're able to collect consent, you're able to collect billing and payments information, and you're able to take notes while you talk to your patient. To schedule a demo, you can simply click the calendar at the bottom of the page. Simplify also offers several value-add resource centers. Simplify has a resource center at simplify.co/corona where you can find information about telecoding and all insurance coding guidance. You can see our founder, Dr. Ryan Hungate. You can search the latest news on Corona and stats from the Health Policy Institute by the American Dental Association, information on reopening your practice, and information on practice operations regarding FDA, OSHA, and other requirements. There are resources by specialty as well as general resources. You can try our Connect product for free today. We also offer a resource center for Amplify. This resource center allows you to download marketing assets for your patients. We suggest an email for patients. We suggest follow-up calls. We suggest a sign to post on your door, as well as social media assets, and you can download and use all of these if you're a current customer. Similarly for Connect, we also have marketing resources. We're able to have a sign for your door, an email for existing patients ready to go, a voicemail script, and social media assets that you can send to all of your followers. Thank you, and I hope that you'll try Simplify.
That's pretty intense, right? That shows that there's no love lost between doctors, because the average patient out there just thinks that, hey, this doctor is just like this doctor, right? The direct-to-consumer ortho should prove that for every single person out there. If they can sell aligners directly to your front doorstep, that shows that patients don't know that these doctors are all equal. They're not. I don't know about you, but in my dental school class, we had a class of 100, and I'd probably let about 7 or 8 of them work on me. Right. So patients don't understand that.
Careful. This is broadcast, huh?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If you're listening from my class, of course you're one of those 7. Of course you're one of those 7.
Good point. I want to defend the people who's going to try that free trial and that's going to be hooked at your service. So let's make sure that we cover everything. You talk about managing the clinic, and you give us a good insight of how the people coming in will be converted. How about my existing patient database?
So that's the biggest piece, because look, people might call you. Still, a majority of people will call your front desk to make an appointment. It's just how it works, right? And I think more and more of that's moving online. We're probably 30% online right now, 70% still calling into the practice. I think you give it 2 years, and COVID was probably responsible for a lot of this. That's going to completely invert. We're probably 70% online, 30% calling in. And that's great because more freed up front desk time. But what we've done is we have to make sure that we can convert those existing patients, like send out messages. So one, we have the ability to do recall. So we can send out those text and email messages to do recall. That's great. Everybody needs to have that. Even if you don't go with Simplify, if you're not sending text and email reminders and giving them the ability to schedule their recall appointments, I promise you're missing out in a gigantic way. Postcards are great. Front desk team calling, that's great. Nope. Doesn't cut it. You need to go a step up beyond that and make it so they can direct schedule and automate that process. On top of that, the nice thing about Invite, our automation product, like I was saying, the average practice has $1 million, over $1 million in planned treatment that they have not executed yet. That should be that's the lowest hanging fruit. If I look at 5 patients in a lineup and none of them have been seen by my hygienist, I think that I don't know what they're worth. Each one of them, as of right now, is maybe worth $120 of hygiene, and that's it. But in that lineup of 5 people, there's probably an implant, there's probably a crown, there's probably 5 fillings, there's some endo. Who are they? Right? Now that we've got them in.
While you're working, you have to feed the system of what the patient needs. So mostly you need this chair side too, right? The system is chair side.
You have to. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you're going to have the chair side dentistry. You're going to have those people diagnosing everything. But then that's where Invite comes in, where now that you have designated, hey, this patient's worth 10 grand, this person, they're done. They're worth 120 and I'll see them next year. That's great. You need to have somebody out there, either a person, or you need to have a technology that can go, oh, there's the $10,000 person. I'm going to go after them like crazy to get them finished. Because now they're worth so much money to you. But right now, in a front desk team member's eyes, it is so difficult with these electronic health records out there, whether it be Dentrix, EagleSouth, Open Dental, Curve, it doesn't matter. Right now, they make it impossible to identify that $10,000 patient and then communicate with them and let them book right away. It's not possible.
The Alphas are proud to initiate the creation of ETAF, Emerging Technology Alpha Funds Federation. Under the leadership and vision of Dr. Paul Dominique, ETAF is a federation of funds that will invest in emerging technologies, especially in the telehealth industry. The raison d'etre of ETAF is to empower the startup and technologies of tomorrow to emerge strong and liberal post-COVID. Dr. Dominique and his team are dedicated to support the best technologies out there while looking to bring down the cost of medical and dental procedures. Our goal is to democratize and to empower healthcare. Telehealth is a prominent vertical at ETAF. Cryptocurrencies, fintech, personal growth and psychedelics are other verticals that ETAF will empower. If you want to be part of the leaders of tomorrow, reach out. ETAF, Emerging Technologies Alpha Funds Federation. Welcome to the Alphas.
stress up the groove, the energy a little different when the blessings
UAX Ultimate Audio Experience is a new platform to learn and enjoy books and stories. Developed by Emotive World Incorporated, under the leadership of Dr. Back, UAX are made to be entertaining while keeping the self-educational value of a book. UAX is a movie without image designed to engage with the visual cortex of both auditive and visual people, keeping you engaged throughout the audiobook experience. UAX is the blockbuster of the audiobooks. UAX will cover most of Dr. Back's books, and is now negotiating to bring more authors and more titles to the UAX concept. Now streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and available for download on all major music platforms. Give it a try today. Welcome to the Alphas.
I'm at my 92nd book. I want to reach 100 in 4 years. I have until the end of August to deliver. That's 8 books. That might sound like a lot, but last year I did even worse. I'm confident unless I drop the ball here. So 100 books within 4 years. More and more the challenge is which project we're gonna have the time and resource to dedicate to. My team is working also very actively to get me a spot on Netflix and Amazon Prime to have our own show. The podcast, it's also exploding and we'll have to record more and more. So doing this, like this today, it's kind of my usual now. I used to struggle with this because I have to look my best. Today, just show up. Hopefully you like what you see. Thank you for watching. I'm Dr. Back. I've been told not to say welcome to the Alphas because this is a different show. My producer, Steve Daniel, is very strict on those rules. I'm Dr. Back. Thank you for watching.
So now when you have Simplify, you put that on top of your existing electronic health record system. We integrate with almost all of them. So we're able to integrate with those people, pull out those people, and really let you focus on the people who make your time most worthwhile.
There's a problem here. You mentioned at the beginning of this interview that, hey, I just bought a new system that cost me $5,000 and that system suck. Can I just get rid of those and just have Simplify running everything? Is that possible?
No, so we aren't in the electronic health record business, and I'll tell you why. One, we love our electronic health record partners out there. And I shouldn't say, we don't directly partner with any of those people. We just integrate with them. That's the best part about it. We make their software that much better. When I first started Simplify, we looked at it and I was like, the core problem of these businesses is their electronic health record. They're all terrible. There's some good ones coming up, but once again, they're electronic health records. And when you do that, that's like literally telling a doctor, hey, do me a favor. We're going to rip out your heart. And I want you to take a couple of quick paces around the corner. I promise you, this new heart around the corner is way better. But that's how rough that is. Oh, and by the way, we got to retrain everybody in your entire practice, not just front desk team, but your back, team on all that too. I think the average onboarding time for like the number one electronic health record out there is 32 hours of training. Right? And I don't want to be that person, right? I don't ever want to be that person. Now, what's interesting and what you're hinting at is, can I layer on top of these electronic health records and take care of a lot of their headaches? Is it easier to schedule a patient through our user interface than it is to schedule it through an electronic health? Hell yeah, it's way better. Are the front desk team members spending probably 80% of their time in Simplify software and not their electronic health record? Yes, that's happening too. The clinical side, if you think about it, it's just note-taking software. That's it. This tooth, it's an odontogram. I did charting here. That's actually pretty simple software if you go out to build it. That's the nice part. The most complicated part of any electronic health record is the front desk portion of those things, the billing, the nightmare of that. And what's funny is you can always tell these electronic health records were built with business as an afterthought, because the clinical side is really the thing you think about when you think of an electronic health record. It's beautiful. It's really easy to chart. It's easy to use. It's cool. None of it's cool. But anyway, it's easy enough, right? But you can see like, oh, this scheduling piece doesn't even look like it. That's because they bought it afterwards and bolted it on. Oh, this billing piece, they bought it afterwards. Like everything's an afterthought. That's where when Simplify, we don't want to replace that electronic health record by any means, just because it's such a pain to do that. You can ask these electronic health records out there that are making waves. I think one of the best ones out there, there's a few of them out there. There's the new ones are CareStack, Tab 32. You're seeing a lot of these pop up. ask them how their sales cycle looks. It's years, 2 years, getting these people to make decisions. Whereas with Simplify, I can come up to you as a doctor and say, hey, doc, want to try this out? And I have you up and going in under 24 hours, maybe even the exact same phone call, which is pretty cool. You're able to grow a lot more as a business, but at the same time, you're also able to cause so much less of a headache. Training that stuff is just a nightmare.
Hey, I like your personality, but going through this, I am a soul, and it just ease your life, right? It's easier practice. It's saving me so much headache that I'm not getting paid for, and I'm saving money here. And now that I listen to you, I want to be greedy. At the beginning of this, you talked that you were expanding. You went from a team of 60 people to 200 people. So I look at the business side of it. And I've done this, I save money, now I'm making even more money. Can I invest with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a VC-backed business. We've got some of the best backers in the industry. You can check us out on our website, on our About column. We have First Round Capital. We have Felicis Ventures. We have Uncork Capital in there as well. Health Catalyst Capital is another good one. All of these great investors. And what's cool is in every single round, I try to leave it open for people who are strategic, is the way I like to put it in there. You know, people who are like strategic investors that can actually help us grow our business and accelerate everything. That's why, honestly, I think that's what makes investors amazing. If you're an investor and you cannot help accelerate a business, it's great. Just put your money as an LP in a fund, right? And let that fund be the one that accelerates it. So we're looking for people who can help accelerate our business, put some money in right now and help us grow. We've designated this as 2021 is growing season for Simplify. We're growing from 30 reps at the beginning of this year. We'll be at 90 reps at the end of this year, which is pretty darn cool. And on top of that, we're going into other verticals as well. We obviously focus on dental, but we'll be looking at the optical vertical, the veterinary, the aesthetics. So definitely ways to invest.
You're really flattering me saying that I'm a strategic investor, but you misunderstood my question. My question was not for me, it's for the audience here. The people that are using the system, that understanding the system, and then they save 50 grand a year.
Yeah.
And invest with you. And how
about that's interesting. Yeah, no, I love that idea. I think that's really cool. That'd be awesome to like literally flip that over. We haven't ever really opened that up to it, but it would be really cool to be able to open that up to those users and literally make it so they can be part of like that growth in that system. I think that's a really great idea. That'd be cool. Like there's actually a lot of partners, you know, there's another one out there called Revere Partners that's being developed right now by a bunch of dentists finally that are getting that up and going too. So I think that there's more and more focus on literally getting LPs in these funds and then also investing in these companies. But no, look, Simplify looks for smart money. And also we look for people, you know, I love helping out doctors who have helped us grow organically to help them out as well. So I think that's a great idea. I'd love to hear back from every single person that's interested, for sure.
You say something, smart money. People at home, are you just tired of being the dump money on the market? Right now, you can invest in something that you know how to work, you know how to change your life, and you know how you want to depend on it. So is your peer, and so is the next dentist coming in. I cannot say that I strongly advise you to, but if you look at your pain, this is a pill. And the alternative to this pill is nothing. Try it. And you just have from the CEO that if you want in, there might be a way for you to invest as a smart investor. When you understand what you're investing in, it's always easier for all of us.
So what we are is a chance to keep the independence of this profession. The reason why we can take this drive and lead the change is because, for one, we understand that this is more than just profit. This is a society in rebuild. This has more implication than just taking market share, banking on profit and prosperity. This is about creating a root, a deeper root with the organization, a deeper root with the community, and this is also why we have made sure that all our partners will be happy. And between you and I, we're saying that after 10 years, they're free to go. We are that confident that nobody will like to leave Index, unless they have personal reason that they have to move and change country. For people who be changing cities inside of the same country, we are thinking that this can be an easy swap. You swap in your share of index on one side, and then we swap that back on the other side where you want to practice. It will take you maybe a few months to readjust, but you're not building back from scratch. To all the dentists partnering up with us, you have a partner. It's just like renting a car. Of course, if you just want to cut your contract, you will have some penalties to face, but you're not alone. To the bankers looking at us and the people who are lending in the money, you know that a dentist can have ups and downs. We never know what life will bring. But unless there's another COVID pause like this one, it is very unlikely that the whole industry will just stall. And this is what we are, the foundation of an industry.
In The Rise of the Unicorn, Dr. Back is joining forces with his friend and mentor, Dr. Jean Desers. Both men had many achievements in their respective industries. But the advent of eHapapedia, The Rise of the Unicorn, is a personal project dear to both of them. The quest of happiness and its empowerment. This book is a special one since you are witnessing the conversation between two entrepreneurs looking to change the world by building unique tools and media. Just like in any enterprise, the ride is never a smooth one in the park on a beautiful day. But this is about eHapapedia, it is about happiness. So it will happen, and with a smile attached to it. The unique value of this book is that you are sharing the ups and downs of the launch of a unicorn, not just the glory of the fame, but also the doubts and challenges on the way. May it inspire you on your own journey to success and happiness. Dr. Jean Desers, MD MBA, is the former CEO of HEMA Quebec. He sat on many boards of companies, universities, and is presently a vice president of an investment company. Visionary businessman, doctor in dentistry, Dr. Back is the founder of MDEX & Co., the new economic model in dentistry. World record author of 72 books written within 36 months. The Rise of the Unicorn is your seat in the front row of the discussion between two visionary businessmen reinventing the world for the better. Welcome to the Alphas.
Ryan, there was supposed to be a 45 minutes interview. I think that we went way over, but it was so cool. Is there anything else that we haven't covered?
No, I mean, look, there's some exciting stuff coming down the line with Simplify, so keep checking out. You can always go to Simplify. We spell our name weird, SIMPLIFEYE.com. So check it out. You can see what we do. We also integrate with some telehealth as well. We're the only people out there in telehealth that let doctors bill for telehealth visits. Everybody forgets that when they're doing telehealth. You probably should get paid for it. So because we have a payments platform, we can allow for that. So check out the stuff that we do. We've got some unbelievable stuff coming out this year down the line, including subscriptions, which is going to be gigantic, and a really special way on how we deploy that, and then how we think about it with marketing as well. But yeah, you're going to be seeing a lot more of Simplify this year. I'm excited to see everybody at the shows because those are starting to get back up and going again. And hopefully Canada can get back open soon and get that going with them as well.
Whoa. What you're telling me is this is just available in the United States?
No. We are available in Canada for sure. No, we have actually our biggest locations are in Canada. We're available in the US, Canada, Mexico, Australia, Saudi Arabia, and soon, when we have all of our GDPR stuff done, we'll just be available everywhere throughout the world.
Yes, because we've done a lot of teasing. Make sure that it's available.
We are definitely available in Canada. We love Canada. What's funny is when we first came into Canada, we never did any type of advertising up there. And we just started, I think it's, so many people had friends in dental school who, were at US dental schools and then went up to Canada afterwards. And they were asking for this. So we just got organically pulled up there and we're like, oh, maybe we should look into the Canadian market. And the Canadian market is awesome. We have a few of our reps that just absolutely do unbelievably well with Canadian doctors up there. And like I said, look, the same problems that we have here in the US, You've got them there in Canada, they've got them in Mexico, they've got them in Australia, they've got them all across the world. We love our Canadian users.
Ryan, thank you for your time. Thank you for your passion and dedication to defend the quality of care and also the quality of life of our professional. I'm hoping that by the end of 2021, you can come back on the show and say how amazing your growth was, and also how many dentists you get to become happier because now they have more time and more money to enjoy that.
Amen. I like it. Yeah, we'll be excited to do that.
It was a pleasure, and hopefully not the last time. Dr. Ryan Hungate, thank you so much for being with us.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
I am Dr. Back. Welcome to the office.
I'm living right here and now, and I don't wanna miss out. Is this what life's all about? The world is calling and I'm listening. Yeah, I'm listening. I feel the freedom inside. Come on, let's go for a ride. I finally opened my eyes and I can see it so clearly. So clearly. Life is but a dream. And isn't it amazing? Oh, life can be amazing. I feel my heartbeat racing. I'll fly soaring ever higher. I can light my inner fire, and then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? And then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? Watch what happens now. Sometimes we have what it takes, sometimes we make our mistakes, and now the journey awaits. So don't you wanna come with me? Come with me. We'll make our way to the top, we'll never break, never stop. And when we get to the spot, we'll know we made it there together. We'll remember forever that life is but a dream. And isn't it amazing? Oh, life can be amazing. I feel my heartbeat racing. I'll fly soaring ever higher. I can light my inner fire, and then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? And then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? Watch what happens now. It's amazing, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. Whoa, it's amazing, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. Watch what happens now.